Now, it's really bad news that I got over the weekend, right? Alistair Campbell's among 50 victims after the collapse of his son's £5 million betting syndicate. A lot of people were very happy to see that.
Yes.
Apparently he's lost about 300,000 quid. And the police may or may not be called in.
My heart bleeds for him.
I know. Shocking, isn't it?
Couldn't have happened to a nicer bloke.
I mean, gambling, please gamble responsibly.
Gamble aware, yeah.
Please don't set up syndicates that don't work. I think that would be another warning. Let's talk about the Labour polling situation, because according to a poll done at the weekend by the Sunday Times, basically, Labour would lose 87 seats to the Conservatives, 67 to Reform, and 26 to the SNP if they had an election today.
It's a shocker.
Isn't
this
that
was
amazing?
a more in common poll, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it really was a mega collapse for Labour.
Yes.
In fact, complete collapse. Pretty much all their majority wiped out.
Yeah.
Pretty much pretty much reversal of all their gains in the Red Wall.
Yes. And they would lose a bunch of cabinet ministers as well, wouldn't they?
Absolutely, yeah. There were some good names in there. Can you remember any of them? Wes Streeting.
Angela Rayner was
Angela
one.
Rayner was out. Wes Streeting, I think, was out.
You think he was, yeah.
I mean, big beasts.
Yes.
Unfortunately, not Keir Starmer.
No, absolutely.
I think he's in a very near.
Well, he's in a very, very safe seat.
He is.
But, I mean, they've had a pretty torrid week of it, the Labour Party, even though Keir Starmer's not been sort of really very much in evidence, and he's supposed to have been going on holiday.
Yeah.
Then he had his tragedy of his brother dying.
Yeah.
You know, but he hasn't really been seen. I'm not sure if he's gone on holiday. Nobody really knows.
No, I think he's lying low. But, I mean, we've had this ludicrous nonsense from Bridget Phillips, the Education Secretary. I mean, this is really pretty calamitous for Labour after 5 months. And I know all the kind of lefties are saying, oh, well, they're getting all the bad news out of the way early. No, I think this is probably Keir Starmer's last Christmas, first Christmas and last in number 10.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're absolutely right.
What it's going to be a bloodbath in May, isn't it, with local elections?
I mean, he's desperately trying to cancel them, isn't he, with this new kind of plan
exactly.
to say, oh, no, we're going to rearrange the way that we do local voting.
But it also, I mean,
I don't think that's going to work.
Look, what is it? 3 million people, more than 3 million, have signed a petition asking for a general election. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the next 4 years before 2029 plays out. Yeah. Because they are already in real trouble.
Yeah, totally,
Not
absolutely.
5 years, 5 months.
And you know, we haven't even got on to the rearranging of the school curriculum, which is what Bridget Phillips wants to do, and the VAT disaster, which is coming down the pipe from private schools. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
From Wednesday.
Yeah, but let's talk before that about the battle now that's raging between the Tory party and Reform, which is also getting a bit tasty.
This was this bizarre Boxing Day outburst. People are calling it, you know, had too many Baileys kind of Badenoch thing. Right. Where she put, I mean, it was a series of about 6 or 7 tweets, completely, really untechnical, unfounded, where she attacked Reform for making up numbers. She was looking
their ticker wasn't accurate,
She was looking in the back end of their website, she was looking at their ticker and it was all wrong. And people were saying, well, look, you may be an engineer, you may have an engineering degree, but you know absolutely nothing. I was speaking to a cybersecurity expert who said there's no way she can go into their website and check their ticker. Check their membership numbers anyway.
I think I'm right in saying
Plus
that
they proved that they were genuine anyway.
And Elon Musk has now put a community note, I think, on Kemi Badenoch's tweet, saying actually there's no evidence to suggest that this is in any way a faked
fake news.
number. Yeah. So it's all a bit embarrassing.
She made a real fool of herself. Yeah. Nigel Farage took her on and said, you know, they may even be considering legal action. Yeah. I think they proved.
And then yesterday, the Mail on Sunday had a story saying that basically that she was trying to silence Nigel Farage on GB News, saying, you know, we mustn't allow him to have a show. Robert Jenrick's getting a show there.
And she was, of course, and she was saying that the GB News were giving him too much airtime. Well, no, she made the story. Yeah. She created. And actually, all it's done, I think, is highlight how weak. And I'm Team Kemi. I like Kemi, but I think that how weak her performance has been. People are saying, you know what, she's not landing punches.
Well, you know, she did this with Starmer in the first couple of Prime Minister's questions, and she kind of picked the wrong subject. Like she started going after you on immigration, which of course you can do if you want, and say, well, Starmer's not doing it about it, but not if you were in the Tory government for 14 years because you actually created it. Yeah,
and when you have hundreds of thousands of farmers demonstrating outside in Parliament Square. You said a few weeks ago, why would you not be talking about the farmers' inheritance tax when they're all outside? And instead, at PMQ, she went off on something completely random.
Yeah, or talk about, you know, the economy, because actually under the Tories, the economy was doing pretty well. We were the leading G7 country in terms of economic growth as recently as June. And then suddenly there's an election, and now it's all going horribly wrong. It's all going down the gurgler. And
Absolutely.
according to another poll, and this is in the I newspaper this morning, nearly 2/3 of voters do not believe Sir Keir Starmer can help relieve household spending pressures next year, despite his pledge to put more money in people's pockets. So basically, nobody believes a word he says.
Nobody believes a word he says. That mega poll proves that people don't want him in power, don't want Labour in power. And not only they won't ease the cost of living squeeze, they're making it much, much worse. They're adding cost to employment, to employers. They're adding cost to, food prices. When the economy is this unstable, of course it's going to cost more. They've done nothing about fuel bills. They've done nothing about immigration.
I know.
The gangs. They're going to smash the gangs.
3 more people died yesterday trying to cross the channel.
And the numbers, we haven't got, I don't think we were covering this, but I mean the numbers coming across the channel over the bad weather season, over Christmas, New Year, Boxing Day, whatever. They've been really, really high.
And now apparently we're going to spend another 15 million quid on some satellite technology to track the boats. Well, you can already track the boats. People do it on Twitter all the time.
You can see them. You can see them with your own eyes.
You can see them coming.
It's not very long, the channel. It's not that big. They're going to throw more money after bad. I don't know how much they're going to spend. Yet more money, 15 million on this sat-nav that's going to track the migrants.
So you can see them coming
from France.
And then you can't. Then you don't stop them anyway.
Well, you don't turn them around. What are you going to do then?
What's the point?
You just see them. See them chucking their phones in the water.
It's like watching, planes flying round and round and round over Heathrow.
Or you could track Father Christmas on Christmas Day night, couldn't you?
You could do that.
You can track him as well.
You could,
well, that
maybe
would
NASA.
be a good...
NASA could do it for them. Absolutely unbelievable. Let's talk about the plan to diversify the school curriculum, though. This is on the front page of the Daily Telegraph. As you might not be surprised to know, Bridget Phillipson, yet another former Marxist, basically wants to decolonise the curriculum, and they want to make it more diverse, to breathe new life into it, because apparently it's outdated.
Bring back Michael Gove on the curriculum. They think it's too monocultural.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
They basically mean it's too white.
Too white.
So there's going to be more kind of wokey interference in our curriculum. This is whitewashing, this is erasing, rewriting history.
And guess who they're listening to, right? They're listening to the teaching unions, right? Here's the National Association of Head Teachers. They've said that the diversity of our society should be reflected in the school curriculum, which means that the members saw the benefits of using diverse reading materials for subverting racial biases.
Can I
Especially when teaching to a majority white classroom. Why?
Well, they're not majority white classrooms, many of them. Can I explain something to you as someone who's just entered the state system with a 4-year-old? They spent a month on Black History Month. They spent weeks on Gay Pride. There was a lot, and I'm not criticising any specific groups, but we are in Britain, right? They spend more time on diversity and multiculturalism and, gender neutrality and all of that stuff that they are stuffing into our, and I say this with anger, they're stuffing into our children's brains than they do on the basics, which is numeracy and literacy and the urgent problem of getting children back into classrooms because the absentee rate of children is a major problem. This makes me so
apparently parents aren't sending their kids to schools. I was told just before the show started that in Wales they've now banned Of Mice and Men, John Steinbeck's novel.
These are classics.
Because they don't like the language that's used in it. I mean, come on.
What you need to do is teach children this was of its time. We don't use racist language like this anymore. It's just so... And I know
it's called history.
I know a lot of... Yes, it's called history, but history doesn't exist because we're going to pull down all the statues and pretend it never happened.
Henry VIII used to behead his wives. It doesn't mean that that was a good thing, but you can't pretend it didn't happen.
But it's all part and parcel of, paying reparations and pulling down statues and all of that. It's a really, really dangerous thing that we are introducing here. And you know what, Mike? More and more people, more and more parents that I know are doing homeschooling because they cannot cope with this absolute destruction of our curriculum.
It is incredible.
And this all feeds into the thing where young people then don't start work and they do just sit at home. They can't
Speaking of reparations, apparently it's now been revealed, again in the Sunday Times, just came out over the weekend, that the conversations that are going on between the Labour government and Mauritius about the Chagos Islands involve us supposedly being asked to pay £800 million a year for the right to use the airbase.
Couldn't make this up.
I mean, literally.
They've opened this hornet's nest, and we're now being literally strapped over a barrel by Chagos, asking for billions of pounds and to return them. I mean, what has Keir Starmer done here? David Lammy.
Well, but either or, take your pick. This from Bex, who says this. Margaret in Tunisia, I should say. I'm retired, she says. Employers should give their staff an ultimatum. Either they go back into the office or they'll replace them with people that will. I'm sick and tired of all this mollycoddling and mental health being used as an excuse all the time.
Exactly, and that's ridiculous. What we're saying. It is absolutely ridiculous. Work is work and holiday is holiday.
Yeah.
Working on the beach is not working.
No.
You know, checking your phone on the beach, that's your choice if you want to do that, but that's not work.
It's not.
You can't work from abroad.
No.
Especially when these local councils, I mean, what... It's just complete nonsense.
It is.
Absolute nonsense.
Absolutely ridiculous.